So, to keep the focus of the child is the biggest challenge any teacher might have in today's classroom.
See, nowadays students, they are not into the reality check that we very well know. So it is more of a social media world out there.
Hello and welcome to Think Tank, an insightful panel discussion on Indian K-12. I'm your host Pallavi Kulkarni. Today's topic is the growing impact of social media on students' learning and behavior. We have a panel of experts to discuss and share their thoughts. Our first guest is a university gold medalist with master's degree in education and English. I welcome Ms. Rupa Sridhar, principal of NPS Whitefield. She brings over 25 years of exemplary experience in education, including 8 years as vice principal, a dedicated educationist who believes in student-first philosophy. She has also been an integral part of NPS Whitefield as a coordinator and senior coordinator, fully aligned with Institute's process. Her commitment to fostering student-centered learning environment and upholding the school's vision has made her a key contributor to its success. Our next guest is Ms. Yasvi Lavanya. She is the founder, director and principal of Mount Litera Z School, Whitefield, an institution known for its commitment to holistic education and inclusive learning. A former banker turned passionate educator, she also leads Z Swim Academy and actively supports children with special needs, helping nurture several national and international level para swimmers. Her journey, marked by perseverance and purpose, reflects a strong belief in transformative power of education and sports. I welcome both my guests on the panel discussion.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
With that, let's start our questions for both educationists. So my first question is to both of you, with your experience, and you see students every day. Have you observed any changes in today's children's behavior due to the impact of social media?
So that's a very good question, in fact, and something which we see day on day.
Yes.
To be very frank, what I see among the students or the changes because of the social media is that they are more protective, and parents, the way they handle the students, I mean to say their children, is entirely different as of now. Why? Because it all starts from the house itself.
Yes.
Right? It's all nuclear families and very restricted environment. So looking into that aspects, what we have seen is, especially in the foundational year students, they are not ready to sit in one place, or they are not ready to write as well. And they do not like to listen to the teacher. They always want some video to be played on the smart boards, which isn't possible on day-on-day basis.
Yes.
I would that way appreciate middle school and higher school students, because they are a little more focused and they know where to draw a line.
So formative years becomes a little difficult to handle in classroom.
What we have seen post-COVID, it's a bigger challenge.
Yes.
With respect to the impact of social media per se usage, see, it is there everywhere.
Yes.
So some of them are very open and visible for us. Some of them are so inherent. And
Yes.
one of the most basic changes that we see is the what we call as their lightning focus time. A focus time for any child is now, intense focus time is anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes.
Every 5 to 7 minutes, you have to change the stimuli. Otherwise, he's
True.
not going to listen to you.
Yes.
So, to keep the focus of the child is the biggest challenge any teacher might have in today's classroom. And in that sense, you have to ensure that it is engaging, it is interesting, and at the
Yes.
same time covers the syllabus. And that's where we create our own superpowers.
I think that's a wonderful thought to begin my panel with. So my next question is to Ms. Rupa Sridhar. So do you believe that social media can be a tool for education or academics and the curriculum that happens in the classroom? And where do you draw the line?
See, I should be To be very frank, this is not even a question to be thought of as of now. It's
Okay.
like in today's age, if you can ask that, can you move, can you walk everywhere, or can you go without a car? It's that sort of a question. Whereas, see, it is not about the presence or absence. It is about the optimal usage.
Right.
As of now, social media is everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, and it is like it's like a double-edged sword. In the
Yes.
hands of a surgeon, it becomes healing. In the hands of a murderer, it causes death.
Yes.
And we
Definitely.
need to accept that it's here to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's here to stay.
So the ideal thing for a school is ultimately how are we going to monitor it? How are we going to channel it?
Yes.
And how are we going to ensure that distractions are limited
Okay.
but efficiency is increased?
Yes. So today's students are very much engaged into social media, which also leads to a lot of comparison that happens. So my next question is to Ms. Lavanya. So have you seen or have you encountered any students with such problem where they are constantly comparing their life with people online? Maybe it is lifestyle, academics, or any achievements, the way they look, what they do, what they achieve. So what is your take on that, or have you encountered such cases in your school?
See, nowadays students, they are not into the reality check that we very well know. So it is more of a social media world out there.
Yes.
But again, when it comes to some situations which we have faced among the students, we have been lucky enough, it has been very minimal. But again, we have come across where they are not able to kind of connect with their friends. Why? Because they feel they are not good enough to be there out like them. So we have come across these kind of situations, but at a very, budding stage.
Yes.
To be very frank, in certain cases, I feel that there's a lot of maturity as well. Compared to what we used to say in the initial stages, the post-COVID stages, compared to that, nowadays kids are a little bit more mature to understand that, that you can see only in the social media. It's not reality. I do face, you can call it maturity, you call it coming of age, but that is also a facet that exists.
It's a very appreciative move when it comes from the students, that they have that maturity level or that awareness in themselves, that they can have that differentiation between virtual reality and reality. That's wonderful observation. So my next question is that in the classroom level, these days kids are having a lot of access to the information, maybe through internet, through social media, everywhere everything is available. So when a teacher is trying to teach something or do a lesson, have you come across where the students have not agreed to a teacher, but they completely rely on the information that's been floating on social media, or they believe that is truth and come back to classroom and argue with teachers?
No, see, we cannot deny or we cannot stop the child by putting out their ideas or thoughts. But again, they are sensible enough to understand what is right and what is wrong. And today's faculties also are trained enough to deal with these kind of situations. But we have not faced such situations where they do not agree at all with the teacher.
So there is a kind of students believing in the misinformation.
I guess it is not only students, as adults, even we do at times.
Yeah.
So that should not be a problem at all.
Yes.
See, it happens all the time, okay?
Yeah.
This sort of arguments are sometimes healthy. So
Yes.
it does come out, and that is where the teacher, nowadays, at any point of time, teaching was never about knowledge. It is about understanding the student's perspective,
Yes.
right? So when a teacher puts it in such a way that the student understands, I think it works out.
So is there any awareness program that you all do for them to understand all of this, have that digital literacy? So how
We
it
do have
works?
digital literacy classes also.
Okay.
And we have counseling sessions wherein we have very, very clear awareness programs about cyber security.
Yes.
And we have assemblies conducted by students about cyberbullying.
Great.
General attitude towards social media.
Yes.
And the way I recently had a students assembly
Okay.
on social media platforms, your various apps that are used on the social media.
Yes.
And how these can be harmful to you. I mean, I was very happy listening to that.
Yeah,
That's
to add on
wonderful.
to Rupa ma'am, in fact, recently last year, we had a subject expo where our students, in fact, presented a skit. And we saw parents were not ready to move from that area. There were different topics and there were different areas which were covered in this regard, digital literacy or cyber safety and all, which was completely the scripted by the students itself.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I think such initiatives, when they come from students, we get to know that they are more in a right hands. They are using these tools in a right way to channel their potential. That's wonderful move. So my next question is to Ms. Lavanya. Have you observed any changes in the language or the tone of communication? Because the social media lingo is completely different these days. There are so many languages, influence of other cultures. We have European culture, American pop culture, now Korean culture is coming in. So how do you deal with the communication skills that's coming in the way of new generation?
To be very frank, the communication you're talking about, I think they might be conversing among themselves.
Yes.
So they have that mindset that in a school campus, in the classroom or among the teachers, they do not converse that way. But
Yes.
again, you cannot stop them because that is which is going on. And as you already mentioned that post-COVID, we had a lot of issues in this regard. But there's a lot of maturity and things have settled over the years, I should be telling.
So all these students will have their social media accounts, and they have their own feed, they have their own posts, and they talk about, they have their own opinions to voice over. But do you think that schools or teachers or principals, should they have a check on these things? Should school involve in their personal social media so that they don't go in a wrong direction?
See, there are countries where they restrict social media
Yes.
usage, right?
Yes,
Whereas
yes.
in our country, we have still not started with that.
Yes, yes.
But again, during our orientation, or we make sure that every now and then we do send notifications or circulars to parents to avoid and not to encourage in case they have these kind of social media handles, which is not at all, supportive in any way to them. See, after COVID also, there were a lot of online content, online classes.
Yes.
So parents were also not monitoring them, whether they were really using the materials there or were they doing something else,
Yes.
right? So I guess repeatedly we have been sending the notifications, or even in our orientation, we make it a point. Until and unless parent kind of lays that value-based system in a child's mind, nothing can change.
So, see, it's a very sad fact that the app, the social media, what we are calling about, they have their own security systems, which doesn't allow anybody who's younger than 15 or 16 to have an official account.
Yes.
I mean, so when you put that forward to the students and you present it in such a way that what you're doing is actually not even acceptable from the app standard itself, sometimes it's an eye-opener for them.
Yes.
The next thing is that parents are now under this guilt trip. You know, oh, everybody has it. So how do I
Yes.
not allow my child to have it?
Yes.
So we had this conversation where I told that, see, in the move of giving your child all the advantages that you didn't have, you know,
Yes.
probably you are creating a disadvantage
Definitely.
where what advantages you had, you're not passing over.
Yes.
You know, we had fun times without TV.
Yes.
We had fun times creating new games,
Yes.
not following somebody's videos.
Yes.
I mean, we had real fun times changing rules left and right when we started playing.
Yes.
I mean, nothing happens nowadays. But anyway, having said that, orientations are a major focus for us, wherein we clearly convey to the parents that there's nothing that is imperative that goes through a social media handle. And when you talk about monitoring a social media handle, that comes when we start telling that you can have it. The whole idea here is that don't have it.
Don't have it.
So that is when the next part comes in. So yeah, I mean, it's not very healthy to have it because anonymity causes a lot of behavioral changes that
Yes.
are really, really questionable.
Yes.
And that's the scary part of the social media.
Yes.
And as a school also,
Yeah.
we can just kind of guide them or tell them, but we literally cannot get into their personal life and control it.
Yes, yes. That's what my question was. Like, what is the main limitation that school is having? Because, you can't get completely into their handles and check all your X and X number of students, but at least create that awareness. As ma'am told,
Yeah.
it's very important for parents also to be aware of it. Wonderful statements. With that, we'll take a short break and come back with more insightful discussion. Hello everyone, welcome back to Think Tank. We are resuming our panel discussion on the topic effects of social media on behaviors of students in the classroom and in the school. My next question is, now students will also have their handles. Just now we discussed about that. So we can't stop every other student. So if they have the handle, and similarly even teachers will have their handles, and it is very common to connect with teachers online. When they are in the school, after the school also they will stay in touch with teachers. So in such situations, how is school having any guidelines, or is it having any rules, protocols when it comes to having social media connection with the students? So how is it?
So, we have very clear policies on the social media interaction of students and teachers. So now, in fact, we discourage teachers from using the social media to interact with the students. See, for the simple reason that we have very dedicated digital platforms,
Yes.
wherein information about exams or any other everyday or future information goes to the students. And with
Yes.
respect to doubts and stuff, you always have the very what we call as dependable emails that is always there. So social media per se as in a platform is not something that we interact with students at all. So that is something that we have maintained, and it's become a culture. So we don't have any issues with that because it's never done.
Yes.
It helps.
Yes. And what about you,
It's
ma'am?
the same thing. It's the same thing. I think more or less all schools follow that. And it
Yes.
is very much needed also.
Yes, with that, I have my final question to both of you. So, looking for the future of curriculum, schooling, and the presence of social media. So, where do you think the policies and programs you think that school needs to implement to make it more channelized and more student-centric? So, it is to both of you.
See, social media is a boon in certain ways in that it not only gives the students an opportunity to be creative, especially now you have your blogs, you have your vlogs. There's so many places that they can be creative.
Yeah, they've come up with podcast also,
Yeah,
students.
the podcasts are so very interesting.
Yes.
Some of them are okay. So we cannot deny that. But the fact remains that they are kids.
Yes.
And they require guidance on what is okay and what is not okay. Once you constantly give them that awareness and guide them and course correct them whenever we find that it is not working out, then of course I think we will definitely have great things that can be done through the social media. But as of now, our school system doesn't depend on the social media so much. So
Okay.
it is just an add-on.
Yes.
So we are quite, I think we are quite comprehensive in our delivery and our various other activities.
Yes.
So I think in that sense, social media can be used and will be used, but we will always have a very healthy, respectful distance from it.
Yes, ma'am.
See, when it goes to Indian education system, we feel that we are good at it, the way things are going or the way we have taken the education system. And if you see all globally also, how wonderfully our Indians are doing in every
Yes.
sector for that matter.
Yes.
So when we talk about social media and when we talk about the usage and all, we'll have to give them a reality check about skill-based, about application-based, right? So whatever is learned and done, how are they going to apply that in their real life? So real life examples are very much needed. And again, when we are talking about curriculum and when we are talking about the content, and as already Rupa ma'am mentioned, that we are not completely dependent on that.
Yes.
So, as I earlier told also, there has to be that value based. How much is good for you and how much more will affect. Yes.
See, so just to add on to it, here I think the very clear distinction is between social media just for putting yourself out there and digital platforms that are educative in nature. There's a major difference,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So there is digital media that is helpful in nature and that is used by kids, and we also have various programs that are AI assisted and helps them to move ahead with their reading, with their
Yes.
mathematical skills, that is always there.
Yes.
But social media is a completely different phenomena,
Avenue.
right?
Yes, yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, that's wonderful, ma'am. I had a wonderful conversation with both the educators. With that, we have concluded our think tank and insightful panel discussion on K-12. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our panelists who have spent their wonderful time here, and we look forward to many more panels like this. For more such videos, visit our website www.theenn.com. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for tuning in. This is Pallavi Kulkarni signing off. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.